I was streaming the other day, and a newer artist, or less experienced, but still on the path to greatness, but followed their own path and all that stuff. They were asking me how I got to the art skill that I am now. Not that it's perfect, not that I'm not still growing, not that I intend to keep practicing, but obviously I'm not so much a beginner anymore. And I told them like, oh, for the first 5 years, I didn't share my art or anything like that because I thought it was garbage. And that's what I've been saying for a while now. I haven't really reflected on that the way I say that in a long time. And then they hit me with well, they typed, well, when you look at my art when I post on YouTube, do you think my art is garbage? And I had to think about it for a second because, like, the answer is no. I don't think it's garbage. Like, I would never say yes to a question like that because I generally don't think that. And then I really thought about kind of the things I say and like my perspective, but even to myself, I realize I forget myself, and I need to stop saying my art's garbage too, because in my opinion, every art piece you make is one step further in your marathon of becoming the artist that you aspire to be. So if you earnestly tried your best at that time and that was the best you could do, then it's perfect. It's the best. It's a good art piece. In the same way that if a toddler, crayons like a son in their parents or whatever, no, it's a perfect art piece. Like it's not like that we're looking for the tentacle Picasso for a child. You know what I mean? It's the best that they can do, and they had fun doing it, and that's kind of what makes an art piece perfect. And it can be awful animations on YouTube, or it can be like the most scuffed claymation art or whatever. And it's hilarious. It's funny. There's soul into it. It's awesome. And of course, down the line, they'll probably get better at producing what they do. But again, if they tried their best and they had fun doing it, that's like the human soul. And that makes art perfect. So I need to stop saying and for the first 5 years my art was garbage because it wasn't. That's just the best I could do. Yeah, I can see that it could have been done better, but I had fun doing it and I tried my best. So I want to tell you, you don't make garbage art, and you cannot make garbage art. Well, let me take that back. You can definitely make garbage art, but I think personally, if you're trying your best with the skills that you have, then you're doing fine. Just keep doing that. But part of the reason why I'm even talking right now and recording my thoughts, because I feel like as I've been recording these, they've been really helpful with my introspection as time goes on. So these are as much as for you as it is for me personally. Um, but honestly, I want to call all of us out a little bit as artists and creatives. Um, you know, like generative AI art has kind of fully settled into the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like, I think the narrative maybe 3 years ago was like, yeah, when AI art takes off and it can make, the art that the models are making today, more or less, and it's like very hard to distinguish between human and AI art. Art's cooked. Artists will never get a job. Artists will never make music anymore. You know, artists will, only follow AI, TikTok influencers, stuff like that. And I think that there's a bit of another conversation to be had here. I think that part of it's true. I do think that every creative online marketplace has been crazy disrupted. I do think there's a lot of bad actors. I think there's a lot of scammers. I think there's a lot of fraudsters. I think there's a lot of hate going around. There's a lot of fear mongering going around. When people say like, I use AI for the reference of my art. Like it's just like step zero. I just want to get an idea. Everyone's like, we hate you. Go die. You know what I mean, for using AI. And then another half is like, oh no 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 no, like using AI to optimize your process. It's just like photo bashing and all this stuff. It's like a lot of dichotomy. Um, but I think the biggest thing that I really bothers me and something that I think that I would like to remember going forward is I truly feel sorry for everybody who quit or heavily reduced the amount of art they made because they were sold the lie that their art would never serve them in the future in any way because AI art exists. That is the biggest lie. It's the biggest scam. It's the biggest just disinformation that was just heavily promulgated on every platform ever. There were just and there's a lot of people who quit. There's a lot of people who just stops, you know? Like they truly thought that their only worth as an artist is the art that they produce. And they just stopped because they were under the assumption that like, well, why would someone ever look at my art if, someone can generate something that looks seemingly better in like 10 seconds, you know? And that, the feeling there is real. The insecurity that every artist face, that lack of validation that, we all fear, that, the fear of facing these type of issues, like especially for this generation, like, and I'm Gen Z, so this is my first time in the art world, online, public facing, so all these emotions that we all feel, like we all get swept up into it. For me personally, my desire to make art supersedes the recognition I get to make it. So I just happen to be built a bit different mentally in that way. And that's just based on life experience, And of course, like we're all different people. So I completely understand, like, why if you were trying to get a or concept or character art job, you're trying to be a graphic designer, you're trying to be a CGI artist or whatever. And, you know, it seemingly seemed like the industry was completely ruined by AI, why you'd quit. I get that 100%. Um, but like from my experience, art is hard, dude. Like I feel like if you're looking for an excuse or for a reason to stop, you'll find one. I can think of 10 reasons right now why I shouldn't draw anymore. You know, like no one's lining up for commissions, like no one is, just yelling good job at everything I do. Like I don't nail it every single time. Sometimes I get into an art piece that is way beyond my abilities. And I feel kind of after like giving like 2 hours, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna cook on this one, But I'm telling you, you know, it- but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna clown you a little bit if you look at the current. If you look at someone else who kept going in the past 2 to 3 years, and they're just 2 to 3 years better than what they were then, and you're upset about that, I, I'm sorry, but you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong for thinking that you were replaceable. You're in the wrong for thinking that you're just a tool. You're in the wrong for thinking that your only value as a creative is just stuff you produce. It's about the journey you go through and who you become. Sometimes it's like, well, what's the point? I'm like, there is no point. There's never been a point. There is no purpose. It's just the path we choose to go on for to transcend our mortal shell. It's art, you know? It can be a hard skill, it can be carpentry, it can be sewing, it doesn't matter. There are certain things in life that are more important than the material gains. And creativity is one of those sacred things. Yeah, the path is brutal. You have to really face the music with who you are, what you're capable of, the people you have to surround yourself with, the amount of dedication it takes. It is hard. It's depressing. It sucks a lot. But when you get those moments of clarity and you really look back at what you've improved on and kind of just where you were at the time, like you can recognize how great you've become. And that's amazing. I want that for everybody because I know for me, you know, I was tripping for a long time. I thought I was like a criminal or anything, or like I was like a serial liar or anything. But like I feel like there's a lot of truths about life I couldn't have understood if I had not gone down the path of commitment and dedication to creative practices, whether it be illustration or, sculpting or whatever. And I think a lot of us are missing that level of focus on something that doesn't matter. Like if it's your job, if it's school, if it's expectations, like yeah, it behooves you to focus and get those things done if that's what's expected out of you, including yourself. But there are certain things in life that go beyond having to do it, and that's why I do it. Sometimes it's I just want to get good at something that isn't required of me, you know? And that journey, it's a very enlightening and personable experience that, like, if you are able to walk that walk, when you see someone who trips and stumbles, being able to help them as much as they helped you at the time that in your need, that sense of community and earnest human interaction, like, it's unbelievably honest. You know, I think that what AI has taught us is that you can automate chatbots, you can automate, or I guess you can automate relationships, you can automate functions, you can automate making money, you can automate art, you can automate literally everything. It is still ain't shit compared to the bonds we build as people. And seeing each other go through something and helping each other up and giving each other tips and figuring things out together. You know, we talk about the loneliness epidemic, and I'm like, honestly, it's just an epidemic of us being selfish. I think that we're all like crappy. I think that we all expect everyone to listen to us and always agree with our points, like an AI bot. I think that we fear connection because we have to be vulnerable. I think that we make mountains out of molehills. Everything has to be everything. Fall into this weird narrative that, like, the online persona that people put out is what I should be doing. It's like, no, they're probably also struggling and they're just putting out the best of what they have at that time. You know what I mean? When you look at an Instagram account of an artist you consider very strong in their practice, most of the time you're only seeing their best works. You're not seeing the failed sketches, you're not seeing what the journey was to get there. You're not seeing that whole path. You're just seeing their best works because obviously they want that to be their front facing image, you know? You are just like them. Anything you see an artist do, you can achieve it. You can be the artist that you aspire to be. Just slowly walk the path. You know what I mean? I'll say this all the time, but, like, what do you think a professional artist does in their free time? Probably draw. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm sure they work out, they talk to their families, they go on hikes or whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, if you want to be good at something, you have to put in the work. I am sorry, but and there is no shortcut. There is no amount of frauding, tracing, scamming that you can do to become a good artist. Like, the conversation of democratizing art doesn't even make sense to me. So you're telling me I need to get a subscription, a computer that can handle AI generated content, enough tokens, a platform, and I need to post 40 pictures a day, and then that's now the world equal playing field? Bro, no, that's ridiculous. You like, you can get a can of ravioli and you can get a piece of paper. I mean, you can get a pencil, a set of mechanical pencils for 49 cents, and a sketchbook for maybe $3. Spiral notebook, even. You know what I mean? Like a napkin and a Sharpie. You can find in most workplaces. Like, this democratizing art discussion doesn't really make a lot of sense. I know it's been said a million times, but we need to be reminded, like, the soul of an artist is not replaceable. It will never be. And there will always, always, always be a desire for your art. Always. And another thing on that, your trash art, in your opinion, is someone else's treasure. Your little doodle sketch might inspire someone else to draw. Like, a part of my mythos, or I don't know, my mythos, I guess, but my mindset is like, honestly, if there is an AI artist out there who would love to make a model of my art, please do it. Because eventually you'll realize that, like, you can't capture the same energy, and maybe you would like to, and you'll start learning how to draw. If that, if stealing my stuff gets you there, then steal all the stuff you want, bro. Take the credit. I do not care. Anything that gets you to draw, don't care. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like, I'm telling you, I will say it again. You are not replaceable. Your art isn't garbage. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not famous because your art is good or bad. It's because the algorithms are random. It has nothing to do with you. Sometimes everything just works out, and, like, in your opinion, a big artist has terrible art, and then you can go on ArtStation and see some godly daily art made by some Korean artist, and you're like, how do more people not know about this guy or girl? You know what I mean? It's like, it's completely random. So it's like, all these systems, all these social systems we have in place these days, and all these mechanics that we can use to like shortcut the process. It's like at the end of the day, you're gonna have to draw, and you're gonna have to draw a lot, and it's gonna be tough. And that's why you do it honestly and transparently, and you admit your faults. You learn new things. Like, in my opinion, like style is a curse. I think that style is like handwriting. Some We all have our own handwriting, and the more you learn about penmanship, the better your handwriting gets. It's the same way with style. It's like to seek a style, it's very you will make the intended mistakes to match that style, but you'll never improve fundamentally. So you'll only be able to draw in that specific style, and you'll stagnate for a long time. You know what I mean? So just focus on your art. Do it as much as you can, whenever you can, even if that means one time a week. There is nothing wrong with you for living a full life. Okay, you know, like you matter so much. People are looking up to you. One day, even tomorrow, even your like years from now, some art that you might make today might inspire someone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, just relax, focus. There is no objective, there is no goal, there is no finish line. It's just you walking the path. And no matter what happens around you, the path is worth walking. You are worth investing into, and you are worth being celebrated, even if people don't see it yet. Part of the whole journey is that most people aren't going to see what you're doing and where it goes before you do. Hell, you're not even going to know what you're going to be able to do before you do. You know what I mean? Just focus and draw. Nothing else matters on the journey. Just be consistent, be honest, be dedicated. Don't believe in the lies that you're not enough. You are plenty enough, and you've always been. You have a future as an artist, as a creative, even. Just relax. Expect nothing when you draw. Just do your best and work on your fundamentals. You'll get there. You will. You will achieve anything a professional artist can if you just focus. It's going to take a while for sure. But through you don't want to shortcut that process. You cannot do it. You have to learn the hard lessons. You have to learn how to render. You have to learn perspective and foreshortening and blocking and composition. Like it will all come with time. Just find something you like to draw and then just change it around every so often to try new things. But you can do it. And don't whatever and AI is not the last major disruption in the creative world. It's going to be next year. It might be something else, and your that might be something else. There will always be a reason to give up. There will always be a reason to fail. And there's always going to be people who want to kick you as you fall down. But at the same tone, there will be other people who celebrate you, who are happy that you kept going. You will be happy that you kept going. Do what you can today so when you wake up tomorrow, you can be proud of who you were yesterday and then do that again and you'll always be proud of who you are. Just don't stop. Don't listen to the noise. Most of the people who complain about, oh, I'm not an artist, so I can't be an artist, like they aren't even artists. They haven't drawn shit ever. Or they tried and they believed in the lie. And then now they're mad at you for not believing in it? Just focus. Just draw. It's not a zero sum game. There isn't a point where there's the most optimal art that only those people and only people are going to want that art. That's not how this works. Everything you make means something to somebody. Hopefully, normally it's you. And it might suck, but it's something. And eventually it will suck less because you kept practicing. Just draw, man. You got this.